Hello and welcome to my live session of Ask the Attorney Anything. I'm so grateful, honored, and glad to be here with you guys today. I'm Rebecca Zung. I have been honored as one of the top 1% of attorneys in the country, and I've written a couple of best-selling books. And so I'm here today live and in person to answer any questions that you have. And I never know what the questions are going to be in advance. I just do it and go with it. So whatever the questions are, they are. What I would love to know is, where are you all tuning in from today? It's always very interesting to me. My team and I are like, oh my gosh, there's people watching us in Ghana and all kinds of crazy places, amazing places. I mean, it's just amazing to me and crazy to me that it's like so widespread, and that there are narcissists everywhere in every corner of the world and in every area of the world. So hello to Dean from Bakersfield, California. Hi, Rochelle from India. Hello, a useful idiot. Those are not my words. That's what you're calling yourself in Seattle. And hello, Rebecca from Oregon. Good name, Rebecca. And hello, Mickey and Mary Lynn from Central Pennsylvania. So excited to see you all here today. And I see Lisa from Toronto, Peter from Ghana. Love you guys. I just love the fact that we are all coming together and creating this community of people who are supporting each other and giving each other the strength and courage that we need to finally exit these relationships and become who we want to be. Hello, Rosa from Sweden and Dina from Fargo, North Dakota. I am here in California, and I am going to go ahead and start answering your questions. So the first one is from Joseph. And Joseph is asking, why do narcissists lie and then call you a liar? And then bring up something that is insulting and has nothing to do with the issue at hand. Well, that's an easy one. That's called projection or deflection. And I actually have a whole video on this, which you guys should definitely check out. It's what happens when you catch a narcissist in a lie. And the answer is the 4 Ds. And I'll have you go watch the video in order to figure out what the 4 Ds are. But I'll give you one of them, which is deflect. And they do that because they can't have any responsibility or anything on themselves. It all has to be someone else's fault, someone else's problem, someone else's issue. They have such a fragile little sense of self that if they're caught with anything, it's really like a survival mechanism for them. And so if you call them a narcissist, then that's what you're going to end up being. Or if you catch them, red-handed in a lie, and you even show them proof, they're going to tell you that it's something else, that, they'll weave some web as to why, what they said was actually true or basically true. And then they'll turn around and make it look like you're the one who was crazy. They'll resort to their regular gaslighting method to make it seem like, you're just out of control. You're the one who's crazy. You're the one who's twisting things. And it's really a survival mechanism, Joseph. So that's what that is. And that's what that's about. So the next question is from DSXG Plays. And the question is, can you slam a desk in court if you found a contradiction or a lead? No, you do not do that. You never slam your desk in court. You do not want to get on the bad side of the judge. You want to appear like you are the one that has the composure, that you're the one that's reasonable. I always say you are the one that has to wear the black hat, because what's happening in court is a judge is looking to see who's the good person, who's the one that I want to believe more, who's the one that I think is actually more credible in this situation. And if you have outbursts, if you show, emotion like that, it appears to be out of control, then the judge is going to make judgments about you. Now, remember that, you may have had years of history with the other person. The judge only gets a little sliver of time to see each person in court and make determinations and come to draw conclusions about both of those people. And so you definitely want to be the one that has more composure. I mean, I've actually seen clients like have an outburst while the other person is testifying and saying like, "Oh, that's a lie." Leave it to your attorney on cross-examination to bring out the fact that it's a lie. Leave it to your attorney to show all of that. Or if it's up to you and you're representing yourself, then on cross-examination, that's when you're going to go, after that person and say, "But isn't it true that this happened? And wouldn't you agree with me that this is how it actually went?" Or whatever. Cross-examination is an art into itself. For lawyers, there's actually entire weekend conferences on, the art of cross-examination. But that's where you want to bring out lies and inconsistencies in whatever it is that the other person has said. Especially if they lied on the stand, then if you have proof of that, then that's when you bring that out, is in the cross-examination phase of the trial. Okay, so let's see. My PN brother cheated on his wife. She knows about one, but not the other. Should I tell her? Save it for mediation. After 4 years, I escaped him. I'm not quite understanding that question. But if it's something that this person could potentially use as leverage at mediation, as something that could potentially threaten a source of narcissistic supply for trial, then, that is something that you would want to let the other person know. How can I avoid accusations of alienation when my teenagers don't want to go for parenting time with the non-custodial parent? I would get third-party neutrals involved, whether it's a custody evaluation, whether it's maybe therapists for the children, but you want someone else to say that there's an issue with why the children don't want to go to the other parent, so that it doesn't appear that you are the one who is withholding time sharing. The words out of your mouth, at least publicly or to the court, should always be, "I want the children to have a good relationship with their father." Unless the father is, of course, overly abusive or there's some danger to them. That's the party line that you need to say, at least, so that the court doesn't think that you're withholding time sharing or alienating in some way. So, let me see if I have any other questions. In a case a narcissist has physically or sexually abused a child, are they still entitled to get custody of the child? So remember, like the way that was put is kind of like a little bit backwards in a way. Okay, so let me just say that people have an automatic right to be parents to their children. That's so entitled. You are entitled to be a parent to your child unless someone proves that there's some reason you shouldn't have any rights to your child. So the presumption is for entitlement to your children. If you prove, using the best interest factors in your particular state, country, or jurisdiction, whatever the law is around custody for children, that's what you're going to use to prove that there should be some reason that the other parent should not have that. So should it be supervised time sharing? Should it be severing the parent-child relationship altogether? Should it be limited time sharing in some way. So, figuring out what that's going to look like and then creating a case where you take the law and you apply the facts to that law in presenting your argument to the judge. Okay? Let's see. He took my kids out of state and now has temporary custody. That doesn't seem like a question. So Brock is asking me, what are your thoughts on the corruption in the courts today? I don't know that it's so much corruption as it is lack of understanding. I think that it's pretty pervasive that most judges and most lawyers do not understand narcissism. They don't take personality disorders seriously enough. And I think it's a lack of education. I also think that it's a lack of time and resources. I think judges are overworked. I think the judicial system is overburdened. I think judges have too many cases on their dockets and they're just looking to get the cases off their dockets as fast as possible and as easy in a manner as possible. They don't want to be appealed because that goes against their evaluations, or if they're going to be, running for re-election or whatever, that goes against them. They don't like that. They also don't like when cases pile up on their dockets or they've been on their dockets for too long. They get dinged for that too. It's a 2017 case. Why is this case still on this docket? Why is it still open? And so they just are looking for the easy way out because they have hundreds of cases. And so I don't know if it's as much corruption as it is being overburdened and a lack of knowledge and information about narcissism and personality disorders in general. I think that the judges just see two people who are fighting. They just assume both people are doing whatever they need to get the upper hand, and they just want to be done with it. So they try to push people into mediation as much as possible, and they look for the easy way out. So what can be done about that? I think, things like what I'm doing, where I'm putting information and content and resources out there. I've had a lot of lawyers actually purchase my program, my SLAY program, which is strategy, leverage, anticipate, and focus on you and your case. And, little by little, we will start to educate the judicial system and the lawyers in what needs to be done in order to silence these narcissists and make sure that there's a fair outcome for the reasonable party that's involved. So I hope that answers your question. Hi, Left Foot. Hi to everyone. Blessings from London, England. Hi, Mary. Says, thanks for doing this. I appreciate that so much. So that's it for me today on this edition of Ask the Attorney Anything. I am heading over to my Facebook page right now, which is Rebecca Zung, Top 1% Attorney, Narcissist Negotiation Expert. So you can go check me out on Facebook. If I didn't get a chance to answer your question here, come join me live right now on Facebook. If you're getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist or with anyone, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. If you like this video, give it a like. Let me know that you enjoy me coming on here and answering your questions and doing this and giving you these free resources to help you. So like this video and share it. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. And I'm Rebecca Zung. Thanks so much for joining me on this edition of Ask the Attorney Anything. Come join me on Facebook right now if I didn't get a chance to answer your question and you want to hear more answers to more questions. Because if you have the question, probably thousands of others have that same question. So thanks so much for joining me. Remember, today's a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I honor you, and I send you light, blessings, strength, courage, and support.